Thank you so much for your time. The first question is this, that I'm really wondering to ask you about the first day of the fourth Vienna conference that you officially started today's program. Can you tell us about the details from today's program and then for tomorrow and the day after tomorrow?
Yes. Well, we started out today with, of course, the welcome, because there are now for the first time close to 70 participants here. This is the largest ever political gathering of the Afghan opposition, which takes place here in Vienna on the occasion of the fourth Vienna Process Conference. And we are now still in the plenary phase, which means we have important Afghan speakers addressing certain issues that are pertinent, that are actually now being discussed. And in particular, we are now looking forward to next week's Doha conference, which the United Nations Secretary General is convening, now the third round of this kind of UN-sponsored meetings in Doha, which we believe that the Vienna participants need to be included and heard above all by the United Nations. So that's an important first day message, so to speak. In the afternoon, we are then going to go into 4 working groups.
Great.
We start with the political landscape, which means what kind of governance, what kind of political system would be the best for Afghanistan? Yeah, what were the mistakes in the past? What can be done better? And of course, it needs to be a democratically elected government. So elections eventually will be necessary. It is an inclusive exercise, which means everybody is included. We are not excluding the Taliban. We are just basing this on equality, gender equality, human rights, basic rights, education for everybody, and well-being, which means economic development. And economic development is also one of the working groups. Yeah? So we have political, economic, we have human rights, a third working group, and we have the regional, because you can only get security when your neighbors, when you cooperate with your neighbors. And we know that relations between the Taliban and Pakistan are right now not the best. Obviously, this is not a solution. Terror is spreading, so this is not a peaceful Afghanistan, which we, the opposition here in Vienna, wants.
How many people will be there in 3 days conference here in Vienna?
This time, on the occasion of the fourth conference in Vienna here, we have close to 70 people. Most of them are here in Vienna physically present, but there are about 5 to 10 important Afghans who could not come to Vienna, but who are connected via Zoom. Okay. So they will actively participate also in the discussions today, tomorrow, and on the third day as well.
Okay, great. Another question that I want to ask is this, that the Taliban regime, they don't have any national legitimacy and they don't have any international legitimacy as well. How is possible this regime, they all remain in 3 years for power?
Well, I think the problem is that the power of the Taliban is built upon force, upon military force, upon suppression, and this clearly is something which is difficult to prevent from happening. But this is the reason why the whole world, no country in the world, recognizes diplomatically the Taliban regime. Even those countries like China, who have sent an ambassador there, they are still not officially recognizing Afghanistan. And I think this is really what we need to achieve here in the opposition, to have a legitimate opposition, to have a transparent and inclusive opposition. Everybody can participate who has a positive picture and image of Afghanistan. That's important. And then we will see. Yeah? And I see also when I speak to governments in Washington, in London, in other places, in Europe, for example. I just had an important meeting also with the government in Berlin. They are all very much in favor of the opposition to congregate, to get together and to form a powerful force, but a peaceful force, a political force.
And then Vienna's conference can bring changes about the current situation of women of Afghanistan, who they are currently in Afghanistan. Because nowadays we are speaking about a country that this country is the only country in the world that the women of this country, they are not allowed to do anything. They cannot study, they cannot work. So Vienna's conference, how much can be helpful for that women who they are suffering inside of Afghanistan?
Gender apartheid is a main topic of the fourth conference here in Vienna now. That's very important. So we're dealing on day 1, day 2, and day 3 with this. And I can tell you on day 3, we have invited external experts to talk about certain issues. And the most important issue is gender apartheid. And it will be the rector and president of the Central European University, Shalini Randeria. She's an Indian American who has been dealing with gender issues throughout her academic career, and she will address gender apartheid. And I believe it's very important that both inside the group, women and men, talk about this situation, untenable situation, which cannot be accepted, and that we also get support from the outside in explaining this unique situation. As you have said, this Afghanistan is the only country where close to 50% have no right, have no human rights to education, to public life, to working and so on. This cannot be, it must not be accepted. And the conference here is aiming to have this as a central topic.
Thank you so much.